How's it going, everybody? New season, new frame data video. To be honest, Ubisoft has actually gotten a lot better with their patch notes. We now get a lot of detail when it comes to damage, speed and recovery values. So my job here has gotten a lot easier, as it's basically just double checking whether the numbers they gave us are correct. And most of the time they are actually correct. But once again we have some outliers, and of course we have some changes that were not mentioned anywhere in the patch notes. Yep, have quite a big impact on some characters. It's mainly Peacekeeper this time, but we'll get to her in just a bit. For now we're looking at Orochi. As you've seen by now, the values of his normal attack chains all line up with the numbers in the patch notes. But what I want to take a closer look at is the new Storm Rush. Let's start the whole thing with a correction. The maximum run-up time is actually 600 milliseconds and not 400. After that, the attack starts. During the run-up time you can still change what side you want to attack from. You can also feint anytime during the run-up. When measuring those three attacks from your own point of view, you get the values 500 from the right, 600 from the left, and 700 from top. These are the exact same as Shaman's forward dash heavies, and just like hers, the indicator is hidden for a portion of the attack. So when we look at Storm Rush from the opponent's perspective, you get the following numbers. The indicator stays hidden for 233 milliseconds. That is the same for all three directions. From the right, we now get a 267 millisecond indicator, for the left a 367 indicator, and for top a 467 millisecond one. I think this is quite interesting to see how the lag compensation works in this case. But just to make it official, indicator wise, we have a new fastest attack in the game. We also attempted to get some indicator flickers, both when changing direction really late and when feinting at the latest possible time. But no chance. This thing seems solid. Shaman often has complaints about her flickering indicators when doing her feints, but Orochi seems to be fine. Another little thing that's interesting is his feint. You can immediately go into an attack without pretty much any delay. So keep that in mind and don't only feint into Godbreak. Another change I want to take a closer look at is the fact that after a missed Hurricane Blast, you can no longer chain into an attack. The footage right now is pre-patch. When the opponent dodged you, you still had the chance to throw an attack. It functions similarly to Nobushi's kick. If you dodge the kick, you can either go for the Godbreak or do nothing and wait for her to throw a light for you to parry. This option is now gone for Hurricane Blast. If you successfully dodge it, you always get a Godbreak. I personally don't understand this change. I really like little mind games like that, and on top of that, dodging Orochi's heavy deflect is insanely easy. The move has now been reduced to only usable against inexperienced players. I mean, not that it ever was a viable move to begin with, but why make it even more useless? The recovery cancel of his finishes with the dodge work as advertised. It's really just 100 milliseconds, no matter whether you hit the person, get blocked or you whiff it completely. You can cancel it every time. But now let's take a look at Peacekeeper. First thing, the side dodge recovery actually is 600 milliseconds, just like mentioned in the patch notes. But there are plenty of little other details that are missing when looking over the list. One of the major things are her soft feints. It says that the dagger cancel now occurs at 400 milliseconds into the attack, up from 100 milliseconds. Yes, that is correct, but what they left out is that all her soft feints now occur at 400 milliseconds into the heavy. Doesn't matter whether it's the dagger cancel, the guard break or the dodge, it's always the exact same timing. And no, it's not variable, it's a fixed timing now. This is actually a pretty significant nerf to her. She can now no longer grab characters with very fast heavies like Centurion, Gladiator and so on. I don't know whether this was done on purpose or if it was just by mistake when they adjusted the timings on the dagger cancel. But that's not the only thing where she got fucked. If you've played her already, you might have noticed that a lot of her usual punishes that involve throwing your opponent don't work anymore. Be that wall punishes or out of stamina punishes. The reason for that is that she can no longer dodge cancel her recovery after throwing someone. While on forward and back throws she still can, but only marginally. As you can see, the recovery is 1.6 seconds, and when dodge cancelling, it's 1.3 seconds on forward and back throws. Side throws are unaffected. The number seems really high, but it's a number we normally never look at, because UB, as far as I know at least, never messed with this value. Meaning, we never had a reason to take a closer look at it. And for that reason, I can't even say that with 100% certainty that this is why things are different. Take that as you will. So now, on top of having her base damage values nerfed, she now also doesn't have access to her old punishes. And so far what I've seen, the new ones are way lower in damage. But I guess we have to wait. I'm sure some creative people will find a new fancy punish eventually. Well, at least here's hoping. And while we're on the topic of recoveries, if she whiffs her dagger cancel, we're looking at 600 milliseconds recovery. And unlike Orochi, she can't dodge cancel. So overall, I don't know about Piquet's rework. Rework's a big name for her changes in my opinion. And some of the changes were also unnecessary if you ask me. Yeah, she reigned supreme for many months, but oh well. I'm sure many people will be happy with the additional nerfs. And that about sums it up. Like I said previously, I will do another undocumented changes video in like 2 weeks. I'm sure there are even more things that we have yet to discover. Until then, I hope the video was helpful. Thanks for watching. Laters everybody.